the largest industries in America, right? They operate in hotels, restaurants, cruise lines, clubs, schools, businesses, healthcare facilities, convenience store, airlines, railroads, and many, many, many more things. Okay? There we go. Now, we already know that the food service industry is the second largest employer in the United States with now 15.9 million people, right? Somebody looked that up for me. Samaya did. All right, so here you go. What types of positions are employed by the food service industry? Well, let's tell you. It's the largest part of the hospitality industry. So when you hear lodging, do you guys know what lodging is? Hotels. Lodging is the place where you go to sleep, okay? That's part of our industry. Travel and tourism, recreation, conventions and meetings. So like if you're going up to the convention center and you have a big meeting, you might lodge there and stuff at the same time. That's all part of the hospitality industry. It's not all food in our industry. It just depends on what part that you entertain. Most of the food service industry continues to grow because there's more dual families, more dual career families. Dual career means moms and dads working, busy schedules. There's a lot of older adults that help with the increasing help with meals and the overall increase of traveling. So our industry is growing because people's just real quick to grab a meal on their way home. Not as many people are cooking. Cooking's kind of a lost art. It's a blessing to be able to cook. And that's why you guys are here. So now listen to this. We looked at the numbers when Samaya was in class last week, and she said there's 15.9 by what she found on the internet. They projected a growth of 14.4 million by 2023. So now look at it already. It's already exceeded its growth. So there's going to be there's a lot more opportunities. So think about some trends in industry. Do you guys know any trends right now? Do you know what a trend is? Something that's trendy? Plant-based is something trend in the food service industry. I seen today where Pizza Hut, plant-based pizza. So they got to make, like me, if you're a vegetarian, eat vegetables. You don't have to have a vegetable that looks like and tastes like meat, but it's still trending right now. So those are some things that is trending in industry. So also global cuisine, that means foods from around the world. Technology, meaning Hubgrub, DoorDash, and then other things that technology does is like helping you take orders, make reservations, and so on. Sustainability and new markets. Sustainability is kind of working green. Do you guys understand what working green means? Saving the earth while you're working. You might compost your foods. You might, you have very, very little waste. You use a lot of recycled materials and you recycle a lot. Can you guys think of any other trends right now in food service? Anybody? No other trends you can think of besides plant-based proteins? There's thousands. A big one right now is bone broth soups that's made of just like broth, and they're selling them all over with a couple of neat garnishes in them. There is stuffed burgers. You'll have a burger that might be mushroom and spinach and macaroni and cheese bites, all of those things. So, and I already talked about the global cuisine and the trends around the world. There's lots of, who's got a place that they like to eat that's not American? And not necessarily a type of food that they like that's not American. Oh, yeah.
Yamatos and La Charretas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So La Charretas is Mexican. Banditos is Tex-Mex. I mean, it's like American Mexican. Taco Bell. Yeah, that's American food. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we talked about technology. The computers have brought the food service industry a long, long way. Listen, the food service industry was about the last people to jump on board with computers. Bye, Kelly. So you're able to take an order and send it to the kitchen, and the chef gets it in the kitchen. It helps manage different tasks in the kitchen. It creates production sheets. Like if you put an order in the computer, say somebody's doing a big catering, you plug an order in a computer, it'll spit out what you have to prep for it. So there's a lot of neat things going on. So it also helps manage inventory and labor. Okay. They can help monitor your location. You can have cameras. Somebody seen me at my own place. I had my camera out when one of the guys was about to set the alarm off. I spoke to him about shutting the alarm off. It's the same thing. Social media also provide a lot of access to your restaurant. People can see what it looks like on the inside before you make a reservation. So we're really lucky with the internet. You guys are all internet children. I was blessed to grow up without the internet, and as the internet came on, I've seen how the world has changed. Huh? Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, so, and then sustainability, like I said, and practices, that's growing too, considering when selecting products, managing energy, dealing with waste. That's why we have all LED lights in the building now and so on.
So we're those kids that grew up with the projectors.
Yeah.
Put the paper on
Like, you guys had transparencies, right?
the lamp on.
Yeah, or the Elmos that went on. I was the kid that had a film strip.
But we didn't get like the big like things until like 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah, that just really started exploding. I feel blessed to be my age teaching high school because I am really like tech savvy, to where a lot of people my age, they have no technology in their homes at all. I even have a couple of my children that don't have technology. So anyhow, now listen, new markets for people. A market means something that's going to attract people to eat. There's more people, young people, eating outside the homes. They're getting off of work, they're picking up dinner, they're taking home, they're feeding their kids, they're going to games, or vice versa. So, so there's more places that's doing ready pickup meals, and it's nice that you have those opportunities. Home meal replacements is one of those things, but you know, I get that. It makes sense. At least it's convenient, especially around the holidays. People are like, oh, I'm going to buy my Thanksgiving dinner from Bob Evans. My daughter offered that because we're going to have a small Thanksgiving this year. I said, are you out of your mind? But no, I'm making our Thanksgiving. So here's some of our challenges. Meeting labor demands, being able to have enough people to work, people to show up.
Is your kids coming out here for Thanksgiving?
Some of them will, hon. Not all of them this year. Next year, maybe. Normally, they all come, but my daughters are all nurses. So last year, we were lucky, and they had the opportunity to come. This year, they're hitting and missing. So I said, you know what? I'll just do Thanksgiving with the ones that's here. I got Adela coming, our new baby. She'll be here November 20th. So we probably don't need a big Thanksgiving this year. But Christmas, because I scheduled Christmas on the day or two after Christmas, I'll have the whole family for the whole entire day. I'd rather do that, have the whole family for the whole day, and we'll do a brunch, and then we'll do Christmas dinner, and we'll open gifts and have a good time. So anyhow, it'll be fun. But your labor demands, you guys, I'm telling you right, employee turnover. My job as a manager, a teacher, is to make you guys want to stay in your current jobs, not to turn over all the time. Now, I know there's a lot of reason for turnover because of it's a very competitive market out there. But for you guys to be able to, you know, to be successful, you got to hold a job, get your longevity, and find that one job then where you fall into your career. Like I was in the food service industry for 27 years, and then I started teaching, and I've been here for 21 years of that time. So that was all the way back to high school. And I bounced a few jobs too, but mine were 4 or 5 year gaps, sometimes longer. So it just really all depends. Also, the labor shortage, they say we are relying on more part-time workers, retired people coming back to work, older adults, and immigrants. You guys know I have that concession trailer, right? You ever go to the fairs and when you walk up to one of them trailers, you can't understand what they're talking about? Well, because these people that own these concession trailers, and they're very small gold mines, honestly, those concession trailers, they hire immigrant workers to come in. They'll bring them, they'll go to the airport, they'll pick them up, they'll put them out, they'll work the circuit for 6 months, and then they send them back to wherever they came from. Mexico usually, and some of the southern states. Okay, you guys, we talked about the living wage. Remember that? Remember what a living wage is? It's what the real cost of living is, not what minimum wage is. So sometimes food service workers don't get a living wage, and that's why they struggle, and that's why they're trying to get their work more competitive. I can see a food service worker making what a factory worker makes, because probably 90% of the time you work harder, physically working harder than in a factory. So food service managers might find ways to pay those higher wages and still meet the demands with the lower prices. And we just talked about the difference to the minimum wage. So, and then demands for healthier menu options are increasing. And they want it satisfying and healthy, low fat, less creams and butters and all of that, high nutrition, vegan, all of those things cause concerns in the industry, and that's why our industry is changing. And so when you enter this profession, here's what you want to consider. There's a whole wide variety of them, okay, jobs, but the physical demand is really there. So you physically work harder in this industry. You have to be prepared for that, but you know what? It's very rewarding for some people, especially if you are passionate about food. You don't mind to hit the grind. I don't mind to hit the grind. I'll work it and get it done. But this is rewarding then. Due to the vast number of cuisines and styles of cooking, culinarians, that's us, okay, they have something to taste and learn all the time. Sometimes they concentrate on one segment of the industry. A segment is a piece, like pastries, or maybe you're just doing fresh sausages and party trays and things like that, or say somebody's just doing cookies. So everybody has a specialty. Some people just do drinks. So there's a lot of different things. There's just a huge spectrum. What I want you guys to understand is what is out there, especially the healthcare spectrum. Some of you guys would fit right into that. It's a tough profession, though. You work in hot, noisy kitchens, but make sure nobody's on their phone, right, while I'm talking. You stand for long periods of time. You stress to meet deadlines. There's a lot of lifting, carrying, lots of risks of burns, bruises, cuts, falls. You work long nights, hours, weekends. So think of all those things that's involved in our industry. Okay, so the chance of being, here's the reward. You can be creative. You can create. And that's just like here right now, like I'm going to do. I went to Gordon's. I found boxes of chicken. Hey, Missy, I got some chicken marked down. The halves. I'm like, oh, let's do chicken dinners. I was being creative. Let's just do chicken dinners. You can create whatever you want. Or you're in pastries and cakes. Let's create a beautiful cake. Let's make some pretty cookies. So you do get to create. And then you can share your passion with others. And I'll tell you something too, when I end this, in this industry, it's a service industry. You're here to serve. So I get asked to do a lot of things, even in this industry, in the school building. Can you make a meal for this one? Can you make food for this one? Do you mind serving at a dinner? Lots of different things that we get asked to do. That's just part of our industry. It's just how it is. So name some examples of food service businesses. Who?
Us.
What is us?
How we do the box lunches, we have a service that they're called.
So what are we called?
Culinary.
Yep, we are. Are we a restaurant?
Yeah.
Right. We're a hotel, clubs, schools, businesses, cafeterias, healthcare. Cruise lines is another one. I have a student on a cruise line. He loves it there. And I'll tell you something else too. Make sure that you know that there are parts of the industry that you can get in that's very rewarding, that's not as physically demanding, like healthcare. I loved working in the nursing homes, you guys. It was very rewarding. You do get connected to your residents a little bit, but it's not as demanding, but you can still serve some nice things. It's not as restricted as it used to be. Some of our nursing homes are becoming very upscale, and they're creating nice things for their residents. So the nursing home that my mother-in-law's in was a retirement community. They have a chef. So, all right, that's all I have for you.